Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we continue adding and subtracting fractions. Now, we learned something yesterday, so let me see if Grace remembers. Grace, can we add these fractions the way they're currently written?
No.
Why not, Grace?
They don't have the same denominator.
Good job, Grace. They don't have the same denominator. You cannot add or subtract fractions if they do not have the same denominator, which means we need to find a common denominator without changing the value of these two fractions. So Knox, what would a common denominator be? 12 would be a common denominator. Now Knox knew that because he's very, very intelligent, but he could also find it either on the multiplication chart or he could work it out. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. The other denominator, 4, 8, 12. Oh, look. 12 is the denominator, or is the first number they have in common, which means 12 is the least common multiple of 3 and 4. Zach, what do I multiply by 3 to get 12?
You multiply 4.
By 4. If I multiply my denominator by 4, I must also multiply my numerator by 4. So Zach, what goes there? 2 times 4?
No, 8. Sorry.
8. Good. 2/3 and 8/12 are the exact same value. If you got on your interactive fraction pieces and you put 2/3 and then right below it you put 8/12, they're the same amount. Okay, now I have to figure out self, or as I like to sometimes call myself, Chloe. What do I multiply by 4 to get 12?
3.
If I multiply my denominator by 3, I must also multiply my numerator by 3. So Chloe, what goes here? 9. 2/3. All right. This should be a plus, sorry. Yes.
Why should it be a plus? Whenever you try to find the common denominator, do you multiply the denominator?
Yeah, if it's, you can multiply the denominators to find a common denominator. I go back and check my sign. It is an addition problem. An addition problem. So now I have 8/12 plus 9/12, and I call on Liz. What is 8/12 plus 9/12? What's 8 plus 9? 17. 17/12. But Colt, what kind of fraction is 17/12?
Improper.
Improper. So what do I need to do, Colt, to make it not improper?
Change the denominator.
No, not change the denominator.
I was gone. Change the numerator.
That has nothing to do with... I mean, we did like 50 lessons on Khan Academy over fractions before break. Seth?
Take 12 of them, turn it to a 1, put it to the side, and then the remaining 5 you put above as the fraction.
1 and 5/12. 1 and 5/12. Because 12/12 equals 1, right? So if I take 12/12 away, I have 5/12 left. And that 12/12 becomes a 1. And then I have the 5/12 left. Can we simplify 5/12?
Yes.
By what?
Divide.
Dividing by what? You can't. You can't. The only thing they have in common is a 1. If 1 is the greatest common factor, then you can't simplify it anymore. So now if you had an assignment that had these problems, you want to make sure you don't leave them as improper fractions. You put them as mixed numbers and simplify them. I have 2/12. Let's see, that can't be right. I have 5/8. Subtract 2/12. All right, we can start this one a little differently. We kind of talked a little bit about it yesterday. Az, do you have any ideas of what we might do for this one?
24.
Okay, we could have a common denominator of 24. we could have a common denominator of 24. Let's look at my addends, or my subtractends. I know that's not what they're called, but could we do something different with 2/12? We could make it what?
1/6.
1/6. So I could make it 1/6 as well, but I don't need to. I don't need to. It's not going to change how I get my final answer. Now, let's see, Riley. What do I multiply by 8 to get 24?
3.
Good. If I multiply this one by 3, I must also multiply this one by 3. And Riley, what's my new numerator?
15.
15. Destiny, what do I multiply by 12 to get 24?
2.
2. So Destiny, what is my new numerator?
4 and 24.
Good. So I have 4 24s. I go back and I look, because your teacher is so mean. If you did that problem, but you accidentally added and you got 19 24s, and then you came up to me and said, well, I just did the wrong operation, but I did everything else right. You know what your teacher is going to say? Too bad! You get it wrong. You can't get credit for doing the wrong problem. Jeez. So 15 24ths. Subtract 4 24ths. Alana. 11 24ths. And the factors of 11, the only things that divide into 11 are 1 and 11. Does 11 go into 24? No. So then that is in simplest terms. And let's look at 1/4 plus 7/10. And we ask Scout, can we add those two fractions together as they're currently written?
No.
No, why not?
We need the common denominator.
Good, I need a common denominator. I cannot add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. Oh,
You did subtract.
let's see. Aiden, give me a common denominator. 20. 40 would work, but 20 is the least common denominator. And he did that looking at the multiplication chart. If I go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, I go 10, 20. I've taken and listed the multiples of 4 and the multiples of 10. And the first one they have in common is 20. A lot of you were looking at it and thinking 40, and that would work. It's all good. It's all good. So then I have to ask myself, Ezzy, what do I multiply by 4 to get 20?
5.
5. So I multiply my denominator by 5 and my numerator by 5. And Ezzy, what is 1 times 5?
1 times 5 equals 5.
Equals 5.
So what would you, would you subtract the bottom fraction from the top, to the top?
We're adding.
Oh, if you were subtracting it.
Well, yeah, if you'd subtract, we're taking 5 minus whatever. If this was less than 5, if this was greater than 5, I couldn't subtract. Oh, I could, but then I'd have a negative answer. All right, Dax, what do I multiply by 10 to get 20? 2. If I multiply this by 2, I must also multiply this by 2. And Dax, 7 times 2 is? 14. I check my sign. It is addition. I have 5 20ths plus 14 20ths. Emma, what does that equal? 19 20ths. And I've already told you, if your numerator and denominator are within 1 of each other, you can't simplify it. Okay, boom. Shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love you. Do something kind today. Play the beat. Please subscribe.